Welcome to Woodlot 0007, connecting with our community on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples. This unique forest tenure functions as an operational forest, an outdoor classroom, and a well-traveled playground for outdoor enthusiasts. The Woodlot and the surrounding Blue Mountain Forest area is a place for Katzie and Kwantlen First Nations to practice traditions and share them with the community. We were proud to be recognized in 2020 with the Minister's Award for Innovation and Excellence in Woodlot Management, along with the recognition of our strong commitment to the social license agreement that frames our Woodlot operations. This honor was given not only because of the progressive silviculture and harvesting practiced at Woodlot, but also because of the excellent relationship we have with the community at large. The Woodlot license is held by the BCIT Forest Society, a nonprofit group that invests its profits into supporting students through educational bursaries and scholarships, providing research and employment opportunities, and assisting with the purchase of educational equipment. The volunteer board of directors of the BCIT Forest Society includes current and past instructors of the Forest Resources and Fish and Wildlife programs at British Columbia Institute of Technology, and is led by President Jonathan Smith. Operating as a financially self-sustaining managed forest, Woodlot 0007 focuses on providing a place for outdoor education in forest and natural area management for BCIT students. We incorporate their observations and assessments that are gathered in their field labs into our planning process and operational practices. In addition, the Woodlot has opened its doors to School District 42, which runs a full-time, year-round outdoor environmental school. Students of all ages are able to get a first-hand look at the operation of a working forest by participating in activities such as tree coning, trail maintenance, and traditional First Nations practices. This Woodlot is truly rooted in learning. We collaborate with adjacent licensees in a joint wildfire management plan and a joint planning group. Silviculture and recreation work at the Woodlot and the surrounding tenures has created many employment opportunities for students. These include planting and brushing projects, trail and roadside maintenance, and we work with a local mountain bike rider organization that has stewardship agreements with the Recreation Sites and Trails BC. These opportunities provide a first-hand look at employment in the industry and a solid understanding of each operational phase of a managed forest from stump to dump.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I've been involved with Woodlot since 1987. Woodlot started off back in 1984, sort of a dream of a couple of instructors and some students from BCIT, from the Natural Resource and Forestry programs. And they had this dream of a place that they could have an outdoor classroom, and this is what it's really become. Forestry students, the fish and wildlife students, and any of our natural resource student groups at BCIT. They come, they learn to practice the skills that they will take into their careers, and that's what that's the desire for this place. We also outreach to other groups as well, such as the school groups, and it's wonderful seeing these groups come in, such as the Maple Ridge Environmental School, and they spend up to 2 months a year at different times of the year, so they see that transition of the forest throughout the year. They see the transition as we, being a managed forest, we do harvest trees and we do regenerate those trees and keep the forest growing on a sustainable way. High recreational use often in our woodlots. For instance, here at the Woodlot we have mountain bikers, horseback riders, hikers, dog walkers, and people who just enjoy being out there. A lot of our focus on any profits that we make go towards supporting students and their education. One of the things that we sort of pride ourselves in is we try to, wherever possible, engage and employ local people, who can do work that we want them to do, helping to give back to the local area that you're working in. So I think that's an important part of the Woodlot program, is that a lot of that economy stays relatively local to the organization. The work that I do at BCIT, teaching our students about the careers that they can have in the natural resources, but also that opportunity to come out and meet the people who use this area and frequent the area. And we've developed great relationships with some of the people who are regularly using the area. It's almost like a bond between us, in that they let us know what they are seeing and what they're observing, and we let them know what our plans are and future of what we're planning to do. And as a result, term that is often bandied around is we're building that social license. One of the neat things about the Woodlot is that we have a section of the Trans-Canada Trail coming right through the middle of it. And it's always wonderful to see the volunteers who come out to help maintain it. And we've made connections with our students with them as well. Sites and Trails is very involved in some of the strategy development in managing mountain bike trails and hiking trails throughout the Woodlot. And it's always great to interact with the different ministries and that are involved in managing the forest land base here in BC.
It's a beautiful place that has so many possibilities for us. Just also the possibilities to be off trail and see different plants and animals and start to ask questions about them and go back and study them over time is something that's much more available here than maybe being in Elko Park. The practices that Jonathan has taught us about the Woodlot and that sort of rollover of planting, harvesting, the growing in between, the kids get to see that. There's areas that they used to play in that were forested that have been logged off now, and they've been replanted. And so they're starting to see that cycle, and it helps them have a better understanding of what might be sustainable, experience for them a reality check of what it looks like to manage a forest.
Just a spectacular way to just slow down the pace of a rushed life. It's just relaxing. Living in the area for the past 27 years, they have developed it so much, and the trails for bikers and hikers all alike. You can go up as a family, have young kids. There's easy 1K trails that are not a problem for preschoolers. You got moderate trails that are much longer, and if you come across something on the trail, you always know you can have, if there's a tree across the trail, let them know and they will take care of it. It's just a great community.
As a trail builder, 777 Woodlot, I understand that communication is important. Sometimes when timber harvesting happens, our trails are affected. Working with Jonathan before the logging started, we were able to plan for trail closures. After the logging was finished, we were able to work together to make a plan on how to rehabilitate the trail. Jonathan worked with Rec Sites BC to streamline the process, and then he also kept us in the loop so we knew what was going on. We worked with the local logging contractor after the logging was completed to move supplies into place, and then he put a culvert in the ditch for us to save us all the digging. The end result was a beautifully made, sustainable trail that all user groups can enjoy. Working with small tenures like the Woodlots makes this kind of communication possible and makes the place that we love enjoyable for everyone and helps us to maintain some of the best trails in the valley.
There's always something fun, something different to hit. You got some natural features, you got your big hits. It's just kind of make your own adventure. It's a pretty sweet spot to ride.
So the Woodlot, especially BCIT, I think it's a perfect opportunity to provide education for the public. I think it's great that they have an opportunity to bring their students out for a tour and just see how forests are managed. And you also have an opportunity for the schools which are nearby to go out and reach out to them and bring the elementary and high school kids and just show them all aspects.
I first first became aware of the BCIT Woodlot 0007 when I was taking a course at BCIT in Forest and Natural Areas Management. Got to meet a few of the instructors, and we used the woodlot as our lab or classroom. What I had learned there was essentially got my forest legs underneath me, learned to kind of traipse through the woods, take measurements in streams, do survey and logging measurements, a number of birding, wildlife surveys and that type of thing, amphibian searches. And then while I was there, I had a chance to work there for the summer, and I was able to see all the different types of people who use the woodlot, and I had a chance to talk to them. And it was just a very interesting mix of ages, sports, or relaxation and that type of thing. For me, one of the things I really liked about the woodlot is as you follow the trails, there's sections where you want to, on a hot day, and you specifically want to be in a shaded area with lush understory, you can take a trail and go over there. And then there's other days where you know you sort of want an open area that has more of a bit of a vista. There's areas that have that. There's a number of little ponds that kind of you can walk through, and little sort of little forest glens where you can just sort of sit on a log and watch woodpeckers and other wildlife just kind of move past you. When I was talking to people on the trail, a lot of them did not realize that it was actually a woodlot or a working forest, if you want to call it that. And just had an appreciation for where the trails were, and had things that they'd like to see, areas that we could work on, say fixing up a part of the trail, or restoring a certain area, or just ways to improve it. And they all seem to have a vested interest in improving that area, because it is one of their favorite areas to go to as well.
The BCIT Forest Society Woodlot embodies the spirit and principles of the Woodlot program, meeting and exceeding expectations for management of Crown lands. Woodlot 0007 is a productive working forest, a vibrant classroom for students, and a playground for outdoor enthusiasts, and the ancestral home of the Coast Salish peoples.